Welcome to Marsha's Plate, a Black trans-inclusive feminist podcast. A place where we know that not everybody is invited to the cookout. And we also know that every single day is a brand new day, and we have the power to make a difference today. So let's do this.
It's a new day, brand new day, make it better than yesterday. You can always find a way to turn it all around again. It's a new day, brand new day, make it better than yesterday. You can always find a way to start over again. Tuesday, when the sun rises, you can start over again. A new day, you can make it better than yesterday. It's a new day, it's a new day, new day. There's a way you can turn it around. Trust me, there's a way out. There's more time. Just don't give up. When the sun rises on a new day, you got another chance. Yeah, 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 yeah. A new day, you got another chance.
If you want to join the conversation, you can hashtag Marsha's Plate. You can follow us on most social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that. Just search for Marsha's Plate, MARSHASPLATE. Y'all ready? Let's get started.
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. We have made it to another year. In the name of Jesus, we have made it.
Seriously.
2020.
Seriously.
Oh, seriously. For your ass.
We made it.
What has been going on?
Ooh, child. I'm the only real thing that's been going on with me, other than, the typical stuff, is I'm back in therapy. I'm taking therapy a little bit more seriously.
Okay.
I'm in more intense therapy, honey.
Okay.
Not the psychologist. Gotta be convinced to take his therapy seriously.
You already know how it go, honey. People have trouble taking their own fucking advice. But no, to be honest with me, I take therapy so serious that I'm very picky when it comes to therapists.
Mhm.
So it's been it tends to be a revolving door for me until I find the one. But it's been so long since I've had a consistent therapist that I could trust that now I'm just like, fuck it, honey. Whoever's here, you gonna get Bree Star full blown, honey. But I've had a couple of them that have been like, she's too much. I can't do her. So it ain't always been me that's been pushing through that revolving door, honey. Sometimes it's been the therapist that's been like, I cannot sit and listen to this girl talk about how horrible I am for being a white person for an hour.
First of all, I'm not gonna have no white therapist, but I had a therapist all last summer. It just felt useless. It felt like I'm just coming on here to talk to you, and I'm not getting any kind of like the problems that I don't want to say problems, but the stuff that I was bringing to her. She just kept agreeing with me. It wasn't any kind of, not that it felt like I was wrong.
I know what you're saying.
But it was like, I'm like, this is my perspective of what's going on. And she was like, I actually agree with you. There was nothing, there was nothing that I was getting.
It was no feedback. It was no ping pong. It was just you tossing the ball at her and her collecting them.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I'm not really getting nothing out of it. Unless I just wanted to vent, then cool. I can get my shit out, cool. And so I was telling my homegirls that in our little group chat, I'm like, I ain't really getting nothing out of her. And my other homegirl was like, so maybe you need to ask her specifically, can you give me some tools for like, maybe my ADHD and or whatever, stuff like that. Baby, I did that and she gave me a little bit of tools, but it wasn't nothing that I didn't already know. And that's the problem with already being in mental health vein. you kind of already have tools to do shit because
You already know the basics. You've been
yeah,
educated on the basics. That's why you got that psych degree. Yeah.
yeah, it's so many. It's like I already kind of know all of the, and especially you being older, you've already kind of got your healthy mechanisms and stuff
life
that.
life experience, more life
I mean,
experience, and as you know, as the old folks would say, get stuck in your ways. When you get to a certain age, you get to a point of self-actualization. You know your flaws, you know your gifts, and you accept all of that shit. It ain't no whole bunch of, oh, I'm going to change this, I'm going to change that. It's take me as I am or leave me the fuck alone.
Or tools that you know that work.
it took me a while to kind of, I was like, I know what kind of therapist, I think I know what kind of therapist I'm searching for in terms of, you know, ideally if I can find someone who's also a black transmasculine person, blah, 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 blah. And over the years, kind of had to learn how to get what I need out of therapy and kind of like what y'all both were saying, like asking questions. And so over the years, I would just be like, I like when you're holding space, I'm not holding space. So can you not, you like, you think I'm thinking, and I'm just like, when you gonna ask me a question? So like, you know, so I've learned how to like advocate a little bit more for myself in those spaces and move around. Like, you know, if it's not working, it's not working. But that's real though. But it took some time. It took years before I felt comfortable because I just was like, you know, you think, okay, well, you the professional, right? But actually, you know, you have, you know, you can advocate for yourself and say what you need. And if it's not a good fit, it's not a good fit. And if they can, they can. And yeah, but I'm really, Bree, to your point too. Like I'm grateful finally finding a really good fit with therapy, where I felt like I was being challenged, I was being pushed, I was, you know, having someone be like, "Listen, the way you gonna disrupt uh patterns or behaviors or what have you that don't serve you is for someone to be like, you need to disrupt that fool, right?" And so to have a therapist was like, "Hi, I'm not, you know, no, nope."
Honey,
No.
for me,
Let's
you
talk
know,
about it. Right? Like,
I
nope, you tripping, right? To have someone that can actually help you kind of work through to see and kind of, you know, manage, basically be the wheel in the middle of the wheel so you can continue to move on and live life even though you're going through challenges. For me, that's been really helpful. But it took a minute to find that kind of therapist. But I kept
for
looking.
For me, it's I hear y'all when y'all say no white therapist and I want a black therapist and a trans masculine therapist and all those things. But even in a city as black as Baltimore, and maybe because Baltimore is so known for drugs and substance abuse, maybe it makes it harder for therapists. Is more of a caseload on people, but honey, I haven't had many black psych professionals in ever. Um, they've most commonly been white women, and some have been good. Some have actually worked for me. Far from all. For me, the black therapists that are here, the therapists that I would ideally want, they have a full caseload. They never available. You're gonna have to wait months to see them. By that time, I didn't probably forgot about the people. They didn't call. They call my damn number. Call my phone from a number I don't recognize. I ain't answering that shit. Screening out calls. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah. You
yeah,
know,
ideally I would want it. I would want a black woman therapist. Ideally a black queer woman, but
It's
for a
hard.
lot, it's hard to find, honey. I'm thinking about getting on one of them apps, getting on one of them therapy apps, bitch, hoping I could find one of the girls on there.
with being in Baltimore or being in a larger city, I personally I found like Psychology Today to be helpful. I mean, you're not always gonna find who you're looking for, but you can at least you can filter for your state and not just your city, but your whole state. Because there might be a cluster by a college town of black therapists, or a cluster if you're not in a metro area with a lot of black people. Um, But even in that interim, Bree, to your point, like when I got on the wait list for that therapist for a minute. And so I just kind of knew I was on the wait list, and the people I was seeing in between, it was kind of negotiating what I would, my expectations of what I could get out of those sessions with them to just kind of maintain until I really could get into the shit deeper with this person that I was on the waiting list. I'm talking like, I think I was on the waiting list almost a year, but it was
That's
worth
where
it
I'm at.
by the time they got back, and I think they weren't more intentional probably than a lot of others in terms of checking in with updates on,
That's where I am
stuff.
now.
Yeah. So
That's
that's
where
a
I'm at
blessing.
now.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at now with this therapist, honey. It's a young white boy, honey. I don't child this child is still an intern baby, honey. It's this is just vent sessions for me. It's been so long since I've had somebody that I could just talk my shit to, because that actually helps me. I'm one of those people. Even with friends, I don't really vent. You know what I mean? The most venting I do is online, honestly.
I had the same issue with finding a particular type of, black woman, queer woman. So I don't have to explain all of those systems and
Exactly.
explain to certain people. But when I was on my search, I was, my respectability politics got triggered. So the when it when it narrowed down, when I went through what you were just talking about, Jay, and it narrowed down, it brought up two girls, and the girl who fit the all my shit, her picture, she looked like she was about to head to the ghettoest, mangiest club. She was outside of a she was outside of a Escalade with her hand on her hip and her booty to the camera, and that was her picture. That was her
Damn, nah.
professional picture. And I said, "Now, I love me a little Benji, but I don't know if I want my therapist to give off that image."
Not her twerking on her LinkedIn, honey.
But she was in front of an Escalade in this black dress with her ass, not her ass out, but her. You know how you take the club pictures old school with the booty pointed to the camera, and she was in front like with the Escalade door open, and she was standing next
Not the
to the front.
Escalade.
Baby, come on. I said, this is black as fuck. And part of me was like, girl, you can't judge her like that. And then
Yeah,
part of
yeah,
me was
yeah.
like, but wait, I need you to have a certain level of professionalism. And this little picture isn't giving it
You
for
can trust and believe that she's the therapist that cusses.
I didn't choose her, but
You didn't do a consult though. You didn't do a
but I
consult.
went I went about my business and said, maybe this is not for me yet.
Honey, my concern would have been that she would have told the whole hood my business. One of the reasons that I feel one of the reasons that I feel comfortable having therapists outside of my race is specifically because I'm not going to have to worry about them in social circles, honey.
Oh, that's
Uh-huh. I
None of that
tend
shit
I
will
tend
work,
to
man.
I tend to like the old white woman librarian fish, honey. Old white woman, honey, that's secretly been a lesbian since 1952. You know what I mean? Old nasty white woman, one of the white women that you see, honey, that have on a nasty wig at the conventions, at the trans conventions and stuff. You'd be like, whose grandmother is here? You know what I mean? But she's there for the education, bitch, honey, because she says that I'm going to collect these transgender LGBTQ plus coins in this therapy office.
Right.
Them the ones I like.
Allison.
Them the ones I like, honey, and they
Sue.
always be married to a man outside of their race, honey.
Sue Ellen.
Yeah,
Not Suella.
be married to a man outside of their race, or they just straight up got that, that Thelma and Louise. They got that
That damn Louise.
that they got that sister, her roommate, you know what I mean, in that one bedroom. You know what I mean?
With the short hair and the
Lord have
Honey,
mercy, y'all.
honey, both of them is a stitch away from being bald as a Georgia peach.
I live. So let us know What are y'all therapy woes? How did you find your therapist? What are some of the roadblocks
Mhm.
that you found when looking for a therapist? Let us know. Hashtag Marsha's Plate.
Baby, hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
Oh my God, I want to thank all of our new patrons this week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay, 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 yay. So, not only are you helping to sustain this particular podcast, I also donate to other podcasts, I donate to other organizations. I have my finger on the pulse of the community. And I know a lot of grassroots organizations that are doing great work out here. So you're not only helping to sustain us, you're helping to sustain other people in a community. Because I put my money where my mouth is. That's just the kind of bitch I am. Community as fuck. So thank you. I really, really appreciate you. And if you have not become a patron, why have you not? You can donate as low as $1 a month. It doesn't matter. Anything helps. Please. Do I have to play Sarah McLachlan and show you puppies? Like, what do I have to do? Do I have to resort to what the white people do to get you to give them money?
Anyway, the link is in the bottom. Back to the show.
We're recording on Monday, January the 19th, which is the official federal holiday of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Day Jr. holiday. His birthday was actually on the 15th of January, but today is the federal holiday. It's the first time it's not being observed by the president since it's been a federal holiday. Who cares? But more importantly, his daughter, the Reverend Dr. Bernice King, she spoke today, and I caught some of the speech. We'll have a link to it, but there are a couple highlights from it, and then it just kind of has a question for you in the audience regarding today, around Martin Luther King Day, 2026. A couple things that she mentioned, that a couple highlights was, she talked about how your vote is your protest, and you know, uh, a lot of times folks are like, I'm a protest, I'm gonna do all these things, but voting is like the vote is the action. That's the action that is the protest action. You know what I'm saying? Um, she also talked about how we're in a moral crisis in the moment. Um, anyway, she talked about that, and one of the main quotes was, "I am because you are because I am." Like, we gotta be like, we in this together. Um, But I think Bomani Jones and some other people, a lot of people have made obviously commentary today. Um, Being in the times that we're in, my question for you all and for the audience is, how are you reflecting on this MLK Day, on Martin Luther King Day holiday, 2026? Are you reflecting on that differently? Um, as we enter this year, and there's a lot of work to do. And Yeah, we got all the stuff that's happening in Minneapolis. We know more that's going to happen. We know Supreme Court. There's a lot of stuff going around trans folks right now. There's just a lot of stuff. Project 2025 is rolling in action, and we are on the other side of it, regardless if we engage or not. That's our future. Um, so yeah. So what do y'all? Is it hitting different in this climate, or and also like just in general, like what does the holiday mean to you? Does it hit different for Martin Luther King Day 2026 with everything going on? And just what's your general Martin Luther King Day, thoughts and memories?
It definitely, for me, hits different because it is so fucking annoying to me to see people, I don't want to say use his name in vain. That's not the right language, but kind of invoke his name. Particularly conservative right wing motherfuckers invoke his name as if he wasn't like a socialist Democrat. Like he didn't have progressive ideas. Like he didn't even progress even more in his, even within being a Christian, he had a progressive mindset out that does not align with theirs. So I think seeing somebody said that ooh, the leftists would think that he was a crazy or something. I was like, no, he would be just like other Christian progressive pastors. He wouldn't be one of y'all. He wouldn't be one of y'all preaching against the immigrant. He wouldn't be, and it always pisses me off because he is literally dead because of y'all. Like, we don't have Martin Luther King now because of y'all motherfuckers. He literally was a martyr, and the fact that y'all are separating him now that he is dead, and it's been years, y'all are trying to separate him from his actual beliefs and his actual progressive ideals annoys the fuck out of me, and it hits way different now because we're so far removed from that time, that emotional, the emotional connection people had with him when he died. We so far removed from that. Not the people who experienced it, but people who didn't experience it that are alive now, kind of in the fight. We're so far removed from that that we are allowing these motherfuckers to kind of co-opt his image and co-opt what he means and what he did, and it just pisses me the fuck off that they're doing that. And so yeah, it definitely does hit different for me. It pisses me off.
For me, I know so much of his history, it plays on repeat in the back of my head that I've started to expand my knowledge on, his family. And I was today years old when I learned that Coretta Scott King, his wife, because of course, next to any great man is a great woman. I didn't realize that she was an activist for gay rights. Um, I is shocking to me because I imagine them to have conservative values. I avoided looking up the King, anything regarding the King family and LGBTQ plus rights, but I saw a post by Gay Magazine, and that just led me down a rabbit hole that has been bringing me euphoria. Sorry for breaking my euphoria early in the show, honey. But yeah, knowing that these were Christians, these were civil rights leaders, these were people who existed and lived during the 50s and 60s, and they were fighting for gay rights. Yeah, I've been also celebrating by just having this white boy, go out and get my motherfucking money to pay my bills. This white boy that I call a partner. I had this cracker out working to pay these bills for the month. So, Martin Luther King said he had a dream that anything white people could do, black people could do. And I'm the master over here at this house. My black ass is the master. And I cracks the whip on the crack.
But you so goofy, Bree. Outside of like some of that, in terms of like, I mean, we know what they're on. That's so funny, Bree. You said, listen, he gonna go get this money. Um, but one of the big things he talked about, the three evils around racism and militarism and poverty, was one of King's big things. Some of the things talk about universal basic income, but one of the main thing is like we have the opportunity to change the reality. Like we are in it. We not we in eyes on the prize. Like we are in it, and we dealing with it right now. And it can make it can really make a difference. And like not everything is inevitable. I guess is what I'm saying. We do still have a lot of power. And should yield it. Do you feel any differently about like your engagement in this moment or like for the future in terms of just like what's going on?
I haven't really changed my strategy since November. My strategy after November was exactly how I felt a lot of people felt. They're like, oh,
Mm,
that 92, 93% is like, let us. it's not about giving up on each other, but it's just changing the strategy to where we're focused on each other. And I think for me that is still my strategy. It's like I am pro immigrant. I am anti ICE. Anytime I can help motherfuckers stop them and da 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 da, I
All
can.
right.
I'm a do what I need to do. But also there is a distance that I also am keeping out of that situation. I'm gonna always share resources. I'm gonna always do
All
what I
right.
need to do when it comes to helping the organizers who are actively in that situation. But there is a part of me that's like side eyeing people.
Yeah, I mean, but not just even with ICE, but just like, the only way to change the policies that are fucking us over is to vote for people that are going to change those policies.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of yeah, like in terms of that piece too, like, does that feel different or not? Or you know what I'm saying? I'm just wondering. I'm just asking.
No, I'm invested in using my power. In my strategy has always been I'm invested in using every single tool that I have in the toolbox to do what I need to do. So I'm never going to be a person who thinks my vote doesn't matter. Even if I got two shitty ass choices, I'm going to choose the better of the choices and figure out other ways in other arenas how I'm going to address the issue. So, um I've never been a person uh, that didn't have a multi-pronged strategy in my politics. So for me, it's always been I gotta vote, I gotta organize, I gotta educate myself, I gotta get deeper, I gotta be active in this fight, I gotta be active in this fight, I gotta be this fight. I might not be active in this fight, but I know some organizers who are, so I can either push some resources to them. Like I'm always gonna be doing a multi-pronged strategy. So I don't think that has changed. I think that is something that even in these dire times, I adjust, and I'm not somebody that just gives up and think that we don't have any power anymore. I'm just that's just not how I'm built.
What
But
about you, Brittany?
Yeah, I've honestly, I think I ended the year feeling very weak and defeated. I think for a while I've been giving off that energy, and because I've been feeling that energy, I've been feeling weak and defeated. But not sure if it's something going on in the solar system, honey, if Mercury is in Venus and if they collide with Jupiter or something. But I've gotten my power back. I've gotten my power back. I'm reclaiming my motherfucking time. No, I've gotten my power back, and in that I've realized my gifts. I'm ultimately at the point where the only time I'm really going to be talking about these serious topics at all, um, is if I feel like it in my personal life and with y'all. I'm reserving these serious political conversations for Marsha's plate right now until I could think further, because I got burnt out and I got dreams, y'all. And I think that's where that feeling of weariness came from. And I never thought that I could get burnt out sharing my voice, but I realized that in what we do, it is a lot of mental energy. You know what I mean? It can cause mental exhaustion. You know what I mean? You're constantly processing this information. You're researching it to make sure the information you have is correct. You regurgitating it and you fighting with it. You know what I mean? So for me, I've been keeping it light, you know what I mean? And I realized that, or I've been reminded that for me, it's to remind people that there's always a silver lining.
During Roland Martin's thing today, they were showing some different interview clips where they were talking about Martin Luther King with different people talking about their relationship to or with Martin Luther King. one of the interviews was with Harry Belafonte, and he talked about, I would put on these concerts, and then I would bring on Martin Luther King to speak at the concert, and then we would go back to the concert. We would do our thing and use our platforms as artists or whatever, and then use that to educate people and plug people in, and then just keep it moving with the thing. Because the repetition of knowing what's going on from whoever, starts to make a difference. But also Martin Luther King at the end, when he was assassinated, he didn't poll well. Majority of black folks and white people saw him as, too radical at the time of his death. And to your point, Diamond, we got that kind of colorblind society package after they made it a federal holiday that they pushed that to make the white people feel better. And kind of, sanitized his message. Yeah, but it's like we all got a role to play. It's our future. It's our life. It's our reality. Gen X, millennials,
Wait,
alpha.
let's talk about that though. That was, you are totally absolutely right. That was a strategy, because what people don't might be surprised, but Reagan is the one who signed this holiday into law. But while it seems on the surface like, oh, that's amazing, he's honoring Martin Luther King. It took 15 years to do it. That's one for the once is it O'Connor? Who was the one who presented it? Who presented the idea of the holiday? I think it was O'Connor. I can't remember. I can't remember the name of it. Like, but my point is, Reagan signed it after like 15 years. But within the fine print is that the committee who was supposed to be over the holiday and how it's supposed to work, he made it mandatory that they didn't give funds to any kind of organizing work for the holiday. Like, he made it mandatory within the bill, the law of the holiday, to not fund anything that would do anything to speak truth to power or organize towards all the bullshit. So that was literally, just like you said, to kind of a performative thing. It wasn't
It
meant
was a
to.
gag gift. It
Well,
sound like you're saying that the MLK Day is a gag gift. It's a gag order.
no, no, no,
I
no,
need like
no, no. It's not. No,
uh,
it's not. Our community dropped the ball. Our community pushed for that holiday. His wife pushed for that holiday. Stevie Wonder, all these other artists, all these people pushed for that holiday in a way that it's honored is based on what your local government, your whatever government do, but also more importantly, what other organizations within the black community where you live do. And honestly, I feel like growing up, when it first came out as a kid, it definitely was more substantive. It felt more substantive. It felt, also people from that generation, more of those people were alive, and many of them just in their 40s, in their 50s, what I'm saying? So like, still, some of our ages, you know what I'm saying? So, during that time, because most of these people were young, 20, high school, college, obviously had older people. So, um, and at some point within our community, we dropped the ball on educating our community. That's what happened to me. We have to be intentional to like teach ourselves because they teaching us garbage. So, you know what I'm saying? On purpose. You know what I'm saying? To both of y'all point, right? So then what Reagan wants out of it is this sanitized BS. That is what they want. But that is not what the black people that pushed for it wanted. And that is not how that would, you know what I'm saying? Like those are two different visions with the same goal. You know what I'm saying? Two different, they're going at it for different reasons. Um,
And
the whole point of the day is to educate people about the day and to be in service and action. That got lost in the sauce a long time ago. Where I live, they always had a writing contest for the schools. They had speaking contests for the schools to speak about Martin Luther King Day. They had stuff on the radio. They had stuff on TV. It's a big, like where I'm from, that they still do a lot of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that is a thing, but that's not everybody's community. And a lot of other communities do more stuff. But there's no like we are institutional organizations, NAACP, Urban League, folks that got a lot of money, big games too. There, stuff got lost in the sauce. Okay, and so a reprioritization needs to happen,
They was
and this
busy
kind of got
hiring
lost in
Rachel.
it too. I think just educating about just basic stuff that we consider basic around Martin Luther King, like you know,
They
and
was busy
that's
hiring
real.
Rachel Dolezal, honey.
But I think we underestimate the conservative wave that happened. You said 2000. I'm even thinking about 20 years before that, in the 80s, that conservative wave. Because if we remember, I think I learned this from Queer Walk podcast, the nuance of the labor march 20 years later, because they did another march in on the anniversary of the march on Washington in the 60s, 20 years later, and in the 80s, and in that march, the church people was kind of leading it and being very homophobic. And one of the people that they were kind of suppressing was Audre Lorde. They had her be a speaker. They wanted that she was brought on to be a speaker, this queer lesbian icon, but they, because of their conservatism around homosexuality and how it had grown way more conservative and leaned way a little bit more right compared to that march before, which was led by Bayard Rustin, a whole homosexual.
Yeah, but he had to be in the background too, though. Kind
Right. He had to be in the background, but at least there was a certain level of respect. And they were going to let him speak at that one, but because the FBI was like threatening to all kinds of bullshit. Anyway, 20 years later, the black people, that was the
right. I got
white
you.
FBI people trying to make threats and dismantle shit. It was literally the religious
Right.
church black leaders in the 80s
Hmm.
suppressing the homosexuals in and was literally trying to write, trying to limit her speech, limit what she could talk
Hmm.
about, limit, it literally only gave her 1 minute to speak and all that. It was by the time we get to the 80s, the conservative wave, even on our side, has started to come into power. And then 20 years later, we get to what you're talking about in the 2000s. Um, so yeah, I think we do underestimate what was going on during the Reagan time, even on our side. I do also want to point out that what's beautiful about, to me, about the leaders of the time when we talk about people like misusing their image. For me, I always look at the beauty of our leaders in the past, and particularly the leaders in their shifts, like when they started to be, when you can see that they are learning and progressing. Like, these are human beings, so they're gonna get either worse or they're gonna get better, or you can or stay the same, or it just depends. What I love about some of our leaders from that time, there are some who you can see adamant shifts in their politics, and they get better and better and better, or they get a little bit more open, or a little bit more even bold and confident in speaking truth to power, even to our own community. For example, when I think about W.E.B. Du Bois and the Talented Tenth and how he thought about it in his first book compared to when he got older, and how he shifted to a more progressive mindset about black folks too, instead of that more respectability politics type of that. When we think about not Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and how once he found out about what was going on with Elijah Muhammad and them girls and the shit that was happening behind the scenes, how he shifted and saying, "Yo, this is not right for me. So I'm not just gonna follow like some fucking sheep when you're not doing right and living up to the morals or the standards of what I'm espousing to. I can have the courage, even though it's scary, even though it is y'all now shit y'all set me up to be killed, and y'all trying to push me out of what I find my religious home. I still gonna speak the truth and hold you accountable to what you got going on. I thought that's so powerful to know about Martin Luther, about Malcolm X, and then even when I think about Huey P. Newton, Black Panther Party, Huey P. Newton, when he sent that letter out to other Black Panther Party members saying, if you homophobic and you fucking misogynistic, nigga, you goofy. Like, we don't have time for that bullshit right now to be trying to, be a homophobe and hating homosexuals and hating women and da 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 da. And to see him shift to actually being able to be powerful enough and say that. Like, we gotta work with the homosexuals. We gotta work with women and give them power and shifting. And I've heard things about the Black Panther Party being some misogyny, and just to see them
No, very misogynistic.
very
Ain't no
misogynistic.
song.
Yeah,
Ain't no fucking song.
right. I have heard about it, but to see even shifts in that regards to for him to be able to say it and not hold on to, oh, I'm not gonna change. These women are telling me I need to change, and just to see him do that, I think those moments for me personally are the powerful moments of these men's lives, and yeah, of the leaders of that time. I think that those are the powerful moments. They're actual shifts, even him shifting to a more socialist ideal when it comes to Martin Luther King. So yeah, I think that part of them is the dopest part of them for me. That's more powerful.
Mm-hmm. One of the ways, this is the last quote from her. The way she ended it was, she said, I think we spend a lot of time. Wait, I'm sorry. She said, I think we have the opportunity to use this as a measuring point from year to year in terms of what we're doing to move our society in a more just, humane, equitable, and peaceful way. I think we spend a lot of wait. This is first. I think we spend a lot of time looking at everyone else and what everybody else is not doing or doing, and we're looking out the window at all the problems of the world and talking about how bad they are, and we don't want to spend a lot of time on ourselves personally. She endorsed participation in the service projects to observe the holiday because they foster connection, but said that people should do more to look at what they can do in the year to come to further her father's message. And yeah, that's yeah, that was from her speech today. Y'all got any final thoughts on her speech part of it, or MLK Day in general, or just how we're kind of coming into 2026, Bree?
Honey, like the wise man Martin Lawrence once said, I don't give a fuck what they said in Arizona, honey. Martin Luther King Day is a holiday and you don't carry your ass to work.
Well, no, that's right. Well, let us know what y'all think. What do you think about the quotes from Bernice King? And what are your thoughts about Martin Luther King Day? Did you grow up celebrating Martin Luther King Day in your community? Were you involved in events, or, did you do any monologues or speeches or papers or plays or whatever? Let us know. Hit us up. Hashtag Marsha's Plate, Bree. Break it down for
Hash-
them
Hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
with a shimmy.
Okay,
Okay.
huh? I was feeling the spirit of Tina Turner had came over me, huh? Ooh, child, honey, it's been messy out in these streets. Ain't it? It's been messy out in these streets since the last time your girl was on this mic telling you some tea, honey. Spilling a little tea, motherfucker tea, huh? We had talked about your boy Donnie McClurkin. We fall down, honey. Donnie fell down on them knees, honey. Seen a man go, never got back up, huh? Donnie was down there praying to take the gay away. Next thing Donnie knew, his tonsils was being rearranged. It was hitting the back of his throat. Honey, we dragged her, honey. Donnie McClurkin got a lawsuit against him, honey, talking about some sexual assault, sexual abuse against a young man starting when he was 20, honey. Allegedly allegations, honey, is what's going on. Child, the little violinist child, honey, the child with the violin and the blonde dreads, honey, the blonde locks. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He wears the contacts, looks like an alien, a Martian or something, a little bit in the face. He didn't put out the lawsuit on Will Smith, honey. He didn't allege that Will did anything specifically, but you know, in the paperwork, he made it very clear that it was possible that Will could have did something, honey. If it was a game of Clue, Will was the top culprit. Baby, honey, Will was the butler. Child. And who is the last one? Who is the last one? Y'all said another one that done had an allegation since we done been on here
Tyler
last.
Perry, the second, the new victim.
Yeah,
Child.
that's right. That's right.
Honey, you know, y'all remember Christian Keys, honey? It was whispers that Christian Keys was suggesting that Tyler Perry was the one that he was ranting about in that live video. Well, honey, you know the white boy had came out last year, the one from the Oval, from the, yeah, child, huh? White boy came out with the lawsuit last. Now we got new allegations and new lawsuits from other people, honey. The men's is swearing that Tyler Perry gets handsy and texty and sexy and wants to tell people he's a top and wants to oh Lord, Tyler, what is going on? They got screenshots and stuff. How do y'all feel? How do y'all feel about all these
Jesus.
allegations? Because
Jesus.
I recall being here a year ago, and it was about three, four allegations against men, honey. I think Tyler Perry might have been in the running last year. I think it might have been Christian Keys. How do y'all feel about it? Has this changed your image of any of these celebrities? Are you surprised by any of the allegations? You know, do you think that this could be a money grab? Do you think that, you know, anybody has a faulty story? Are y'all aware of these stories? Let me know what's going on, y'all.
Diamond, you look like you have something on the tip of your tongue. So I'm gonna be
I'm
quiet.
definitely not them.
Honey!
No.
Especially not Donnie. They say men his age shoot out worms, don't it?
Not the old man give you worms. No. I have different thoughts on different people. I think the Will Smith thing is bullshit. I think that even based on the person's story, it was like, what this got to fucking do with Will? Like it just seemed like bullshit. That part seems like bullshit. When it comes to Tyler Perry, I believe the first dude. I don't believe the second. It's not that I don't believe him. I believe that he's trying to take the opportunity. I think Tyler is getting sloppy. And he's picking sloppy butch queens.
No pun intended, because Tyler said he's a top.
I think he is picking sloppy butch queens that's trying to run him down. I don't think the other one is, but I think this new one, I just based on when I watch him on live, it's giving. I feel like he's trying to give it the rundown. When it comes to Donnie, I feel like Donnie, you getting exactly what you need to get. I believe everything. I think y'all was in a relationship. I think
Hmm.
y'all was in a relationship. You hired him as your assistant. He was your assistant play toy. You got your life. Y'all both was on the down low, trying to be delivered gays, getting this gospel money, and something y'all done fell out, and he done now he's turning over on your ass. That's what it is. And I don't I people like Donnie, I have no I think that they perpetuate this idea that you can be an ex-homosexual or be a ungay yourself. You just believe in the Lord and you won't be gay. I think that kind of rhetoric,
Right.
that kind of rhetoric sends people down a horrible self-shaming road and you perpetuate that idea, and for you to be behind the scenes participating and all that shit, I hate that fucking shit. I hate it. I
Yeah.
hate it with any type of church religious leaders that are just being hypocrites and living double lives. I think that that shit is toxic and leads to people committing suicide. It leads people to drug use. It leads people to, I hate it. And so anytime that the chickens come home to roost for them, baby, fry them motherfuckers. That's how I feel.
Mm,
So
mm,
I don't
mm,
like it.
mm, mm.
Honey, we fall down. Honey, Donnie fell out with the Butch Queen. The Butch Queen said, I
Uh,
got you, bitch.
yeah, the Donnie McClurkin situation. Yeah, it's like, yo, that's so. It is. It's so sad that the whole culture of that, uh, within aspects of the church culture or music and gospel, all that. It's just like you have so low self esteem around your own shit, right? And you're encouraging someone else to participate in this very low vibrational situation, right? So much so that there's just a regular culture around it, right? Like just a regular culture, you know, uh similar to when the MAGA people get to DC, when they had that Kojic shit in DC, that shit, grinder, all that shit. Lit up, convocation, lit up, So, that's some real stuff. And just, I don't know. It's just sad because it is like you said, Diamond, like it really is so toxic. And uh when all of these, particularly these gay men, have so many other options to live a life fulfilled, happy life without shame, without, feeling like they're less than because they're of their sexuality, or any of that. So it's just yeah, it's just sad. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like this is just a cyclical situation that's been going on for a long time. So um
And part of me feel like it's no
yeah.
excuse at this point. I feel like
Oh yeah,
Tyler
no.
Perry, you rich enough to where you
Yeah,
can
him.
be shielded from consequences. You can be, and then Donnie, because your hustle is smack dab is music in the church. At least I kind of understand you because that can affect your coin, but it's like there's too many examples out in the world of gay men living their truth, and we're not saying that won't be any consequences. We're not saying that. We know homophobia exists. We know that there are going to be consequences for you being a gay male in the world, but there are gay males dealing with those consequences and thriving and living without shame and being open, living without dishonesty, living without just that, whatever that cloak of deception that y'all motherfuckers got going on. I don't find it to be I just don't think I think it's too many examples for us to excuse this DL behavior any longer. I
I
just
mean,
like it's too.
well, now are you saying with Donnie McClurkin's situation, you don't think it's a situation where this person was violated? You think it was consensual and he is just kind of going for something, or are you saying is that what you were saying with the situation with Donnie McClurkin?
Yes, that's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this was a consensual thing. I think that this was a older. Doesn't mean that it. I think it was consensual, but I don't think. I think that
The
Donnie
power dynamics were still fucked up.
power dynamics was still fucked up. Exactly. This
Yeah.
person coming to you trying to,
Legally, right,
yeah,
consensual, right.
yeah. And so you are trying to manipulate the situation and y'all are choosing to be together. And because even in and I don't want to get into the weeds of every detail, but even in his testimony, when they kind of broke up, he came back and worked for him after their initial relationship, their initial
Mm-hmm.
sexual hookup or whatever, that type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
He left and then came back and continued to work for him. And while that don't make Donnie less wrong,
No, yeah, no, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No.
but
Yeah.
it does indicate that and you also are a grown man. This isn't you are this is a whole thing that I feel like you participated in, and then it just whatever for whatever reason you done flipped the script on Donnie, which you deserve it. Like this, you shouldn't be in this situation with this young man. Not young as in teenage, but young as
Yeah.
30 something, 40 something. You shouldn't be in this situation with somebody that you are supposed to be mentoring. And so, since you are, honey, pay up.
hmm
Yeah,
And then yeah.
I agree. I have understanding for all of them, but believe it or not, I have understanding for all of them as far as Donnie. You know what I mean? He's sitting up around Kimberell's, Goodyear shaped ass. You know what I mean? Being homophobic and shit. Talk about how much she hates sissies and all that shit. You know what I mean? That's the culture that he grew up in, grew up around. So I understand the internalized homophobia of it all. Um, with Tyler Perry also, you know what I mean? His for the same shit, his crowd is the black church crowd. I think consequence for him would definitely be coins. I understand it. Don't mean that I accept it. I get it. It would never be me. Clearly, I'm not a closeted tranny. I wouldn't. I wasn't a closeted gay before I realized my transness, honey. Um, so it could never be me. I would never live my life for other people, but I can understand the ingrained indoctrination. And like
Oh.
Jay said, it's sad to me. Like I feel sorry for them. However, I don't feel sorry for Donnie taking advantage of that boy. I think regardless of sexuality, that's no excuse to be predatory. Uh,
hmm And then Tyler Perry situation, that's an assault. He assaulted somebody.
Yeah, I mean it's that based if the child
Allegedly.
if Derek's claims are true, if the if the white boy's claims are true, then yes, he was sexually assaulted by Tyler Perry. And there have been allegations of Tyler Perry sexually assaulting people before. We've seen alleged screenshots where Tyler has admitted to struggling with his own sexuality. If any of this is true, then clearly Tyler is struggling with his sexuality. Um, at least when it comes to being open about it you know but again, that's no excuse for you to be taking advantage of people. At the end of the day, you're a billionaire who's taking advantage of people based on their hopes and dreams, allegedly. And if this is true, you're gonna have to pay for that. And I think at this point, like Diamond says, yeah, you are rich enough to not be worried about the actual real consequences that come along with homophobia. I think the only real concern at this point would be some internal ingrained shit that he hasn't worked out, and or him fearing his bottom line, him fearing his profits lessening and part of his audience walking away. But even if that's the idea, he's a fucking idiot, because he would gain even more of an audience being a openly queer man, or he would attract another audience, I would say. I'll put it that way.
No,
Other,
it was
other
oh.
pastors survive. Other pastors survive scandal, and I'm not talking about even scandal like that. Like when we think about Carlton Pearson, they literally kicked him out when he was saying that he don't feel like homosexuals is going to hell, and he literally shifted his theology
Mhm.
away from his church family and his church denomination, and went in a more progressive way, and they kicked him out, but he went on to build a whole other church, a whole other church family. You can do it, but you just got to have the courage to do it.
hmm
Mhm.
I think it's pathetic and pitiful at this point, but I'm also not somebody who grew up in the church, so maybe I know you have roots in the church, Diamond, so maybe you have more of an understanding than I do haven't experienced that and still living in your truth. You know what I mean? And I'm convinced that I would have been a lot like you if I did grow up in the church. It wouldn't have stopped me from living in my truth either. But I just can't imagine that indoctrination. Growing up, it anybody involved in my growing up will tell you it was a big deal to not make me feel insecure about being feminine or being queer in my household.
I do have some thoughts around the I every time a black man in our community gets some allegations, there is this racism shield that goes up like, oh my God, we have to shield our black men. They're taking all they're attacking our black excellence. Every black man in power they are attacking, and because of racism, like the niggas love to put the racism shield up. Like, this is racism. This is they're trying to break our men down. I want to know y'all thoughts about that, because I
I
feel like
think
that's
it's
fucking bullshit.
I think it's funny that they're continuing to pull that card and being typical niggas in the process instead of evaluating the facts or even asking themselves the question, why are all of these powerful black men, why do they have so many skeletons in their closet? Why are all of these powerful black men being caught up taking advantage of their power? And yes, we know white men do it, and yes, we know Hispanic men, but that don't have shit to do with the price of tea in China. Genuinely ask yourself, why are black men doing it? And I think they would get a lot further with that. I think if they start asking why instead of deflecting, then they'll get a lot further, because the ultimate thing that they should be learning, regardless of how they feel about black people being targeted disproportionately, the ultimate message is stop being a fuck nigga when you get a couple dollars in your pocket.
Hey, motherfucking men.
Is the question, why do people do that?
What
Just
do you think?
just your
What do you
general
think
thoughts
about
on it.
it?
Oh yeah, no, I think that's stupid. I also don't think it's as many people. Also, like, again, we're the number one target of this algorithm stuff. So it's like a lot of that is getting blown up a lot bigger than that. No, the voice sounds bigger than it is actually in reality within our community. It's not as it's just not. It's just not. We know that because we know how these algorithms work. We know they trying to push contrary shit. They know we trying to push, trying to make opinions like that are really problematic and stupid and wrong um sound louder than they are. And so I think that's just to off the bat, just want to start there, because that's not a real representation of the voice of black men, period. It's just not. It's just a lot of that. So I want to say that. But I think that, I think that's stupid. I think more people in general, black men in particular, should hold each other accountable around that when people say stuff like that. You know what I mean? To be like, no, like nobody is not about like with R. Kelly, for example. It's like, okay, they're coming after black men. It's like, okay, so what about this black girl, child person?
I don't know, Jay. I would being somebody who's
You know what
spitting
I'm
a
saying?
lot.
Like, and people don't like to hear that shit. They don't. And it's like, oh, why you gotta go there? Or oh, why you gotta da 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 da? You know what I mean? And I'm saying that for fucking 20 something years, period. You know what I'm saying? But I think that is so ingrained to overprotect um black men. We know, we're not out, obviously we're influenced by patriarchy and misogyny, and it shifted our culture, where we've taken it on within our culture as well. So it's like, that's just what the fuck that is. But we have to challenge it. That's what I think. I think black men need to hold each other accountable to challenge it. Also black women and folks who have internalized misogyny, patriarchy, who reinforce that, should also challenge it as well. It's a shift in the culture. But anyway, those are my thoughts. I just also, like I said, I think the algorithm shit makes that sound like that's just a really way more important than it actually really is to Black men in reality, when it's not.
I think
It's important to keep in mind because it's a lot of divisive ass shit versus focused on the majority of men, Black men, who don't think like that. Those voices are not getting pushed in everybody's algorithm. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's not, because that's not what these companies want to push to us on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, because those voices are there. Y'all both are talking about being shadow banned at different points. They choose to pick what, and it's gonna get worse what people can see. You know what I'm saying? So it's just something to keep in mind because you, first of all, this opinion was greater back in the day than it is now. So let's just start there. And somehow we managed to still focus on like, how the fuck do we come together? Because these white people trying to kill us. And so I just think it's important just to keep that shit in mind. We can both end on it, right? Like we do with a lot of things. But I think if the majority of our energy, and I'm saying us, but I'm just saying it's like there's a lot of stupid shit. Steve Bannon said, flood the zone with shit. That means flood the algorithms with shit. It means flood it with everything that's gonna run your blood pressure up and make you feel some fucking kind of way on the online. That is their strategy. There is no if, ands, buts about that shit. Period. We know that. So I just think we just gotta keep that shit in mind. You know what I'm saying? That'll be what we'll talk about. I'm just saying it's like that's how I first start with this topic or any fucking topic when it comes to online conversation versus real life conversation. Real life conversation is different to me. That's a different conversation. But in terms of what's being perpetuated online, to me, it's like, okay, well then let me mute that person. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? I don't gotta hear that shit.
Real life conversation.
Let me push the person that's fucking challenging that shit and on some positive shit.
Real life conversations can be siloed though, and I disagree with you that is not the Black man's stance. I disagree with you wholeheartedly because regardless of whether Big Brother is controlling the algorithm and pushing these thoughts more, realistically at the end of the day, especially the younger generation, they're eating this shit up,
right?
and
Exactly, because they're being fed
and
it.
they're agreeing with it, and they're believing
Right.
it. So we can't, every time one of these topics come up, we can't just, oh, it's the algorithm out, regardless of the algorithm, it is affecting people's minds. It is in people's minds. It's affecting
Absolutely.
a whole generation, and a lot of Black men are believing this shit, and they are more focused on deflecting, and a lot of them aren't out here marching. You know,
But I'm saying,
you have to keep in mind that in real life conversations you're very siloed, and even online we're siloed. Our algorithms are siloed. But
I'm just
yeah,
yeah, I hear
I
that.
disagree. I don't think that now don't get me wrong, I don't think that the mind frame for Black men in America is either or, but I definitely don't think that the predominant mind frame in America is for Black men is womanist or
Oh no,
anti-misogynist
no.
at all. No, I think that they're very much the Black male voice in this country is very much screaming, um, y'all targeting the niggas, instead of focusing on why they targeting the niggas.
All I'm saying is we got if we have 100, like if we got 100% of a charge and we're spending the majority of it on a whole bunch of like slices that we could still address differently and more effectively another kind of way versus just talking about it. And I'm not saying we shouldn't talk about it. I'm just saying there's other shit that's like really important to talk about in addition to that. And so I'm just saying it's just certain to keep in mind. It doesn't mean we don't focus on that when we focus on it. I'm just saying it's just important to keep in mind that it's going to be a lot of opinions that are fucked up that are going to blow up and become topics that we will talk about so they can make fucking ads and make money. And that, so we're not talking about, guys, we're not talking about, did you check your fucking voter registration? Did you go vote and use your vote to protest because you don't like the shit that's happening?
Instead of not talking about the shit that's happening that we don't like, they doing that shit. So we're distracted while they do all this shit. That's all I'm saying, is just to keep that shit in mind, even while we still have the conversation about this. It's just to keep that shit in mind. That's all I'm saying. It's just a side note, more so
But
than the point.
how can we have the conversation about other shit if every time we trying to have the conversation about other shit, you deflecting and talking about this subject ain't important for some for a lot of
That's
for a
not
lot
what
of
I
for a
said
lot
though.
of
That's
but
not what
that's
I
what
said, Bree.
that's what it sounds like. I'm telling you what other people hear. I
That's
don't know.
the
I
first
don't.
thing I said was responding to that. How I would respond to that, how I think other black men should respond to that. Those read
And
as
then
such,
we
how
and
folks who
then
are internalizing, perpetuating, because the way you shift social culture is to shift your responses in the social culture. I'm somebody who lived and worked this earth as a black woman too. So I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I've seen it change in my lifetime, seen it change in my fucking reality, what I could and cannot do. And so I'm coming from that perspective of, I know these motherfuckers are fucking sexist. I know these motherfuckers on some fuck shit. And all I'm saying is, if you got to juggle some fucking balls, you know what I'm saying? All I'm saying, sometimes it's like, yes, you can do both and, because that's what people do, both and. Saying that the algorithm is doing that doesn't take away from the fact that that's some fuck shit and people need to be held accountable. But what sense does it make about people being held accountable if we ain't talking about what that looks like in a way that's productive, that brings us together as a community to fight these fucking white people? That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so
That's all,
let's
that's
talk.
all I'm
So
saying.
let's
It's like,
so
you
let's
know what I'm saying? But like balancing
so
that shit
let's
out, because it's gonna be a
so
lot more shit.
so
That's
let's talk
all.
about it. So let's talk about it productively, and instead of regurgitating the same talking points over and over again. It sounds like a broken record at this point. When it comes to certain subjects, you say the same exact thing. That's
About
it.
what?
That's all. You Diamond, play it back.
We'll play it back for me. Yeah,
What
shit.
Jay
I
said
think
at the end.
I think what it is for me, this is my I think this is a both, like you said, this is a both and situation. But I think a lot of times you will, when we bring up subjects about like something like this, you will bring up that it's the algorithm, and we got to be careful. We're not saying that that's not true, but I don't believe that it's not a big chunk of black men who
I
use
agree.
racism as a. But no. Earlier you said that you didn't think it was a majority. You think that it's being
Oh,
You
my
said
projected
bad.
that.
I don't think it's
about.
as many as what it seems online, is my
You
point.
said you don't think that that's the black male
No,
voice.
I'm not saying I don't, my bad. I apologize. It
And
is the
wait,
majority.
wait.
I
Let
just
me
don't think it's as big as what it seems on
wait. So
purpose.
I think it is big as what it seems, and I think that. And
Agreed.
we right now we talking about the algorithm as is almost like it's a new thing because it's computer and you do with social media and blah 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 blah. I said, but for me and uh, well, you called it something earlier, Bree. Oh, you called it Big Brother. The Big Brother, yes, right now is controlling the algorithm. But Big Brother controlled newspaper. Big Brother controlled news back in the day when we didn't have the social media as it is now.
This,
There's always going to be a spin that points
mm-mm,
towards a bias,
mm-mm.
anti-black, anti
Yes,
blah blah blah
that's,
blah blah.
but this ain't the
But
same shit.
wait. But there is has always been men who use the shield of racism to skirt
Oh yeah,
accountability. There are always
1000%.
men who will say, "Oh, this is just a high tech lynching," when
Yeah,
your ass is
time
trying
out.
to
I'm not
be.
saying that. Hold on, hold on. Like I said, motherfucker misspoke. Y'all must, yeah. No, I'm not saying I don't believe that, and I don't believe that's the majority opinion. What I'm saying is, what we all know is that they're taking shit and blowing it up louder than what it already the fuck is all I'm saying. That is also the truth. We read articles, we talked about how they target black community, misinformation, disinformation, all this other shit, and blowing up shit that is divisive within our fucking community that was focused on that shit. We read the articles, we talked about it. That's all I'm saying. And that wasn't even my fucking point. So we chasing that down when actually I was just saying that as a side comment to go back to the other shit. And y'all thinking it's the main point, but it's not. It's just a comment.
But I think what I'm saying
Shit.
is there is always an element of somebody trying to blow up a narrative, or like I just said, it's not just the algorithm, it is somebody,
Right.
there's always somebody. Look, in the 90s, the cop narrative, the
But
cop series making the image of black men
Diamond, hold on. I gotta
thugs
push
and
back a little
drugs,
bit. I gotta
there's
push back a
always
little
an
bit.
element.
Because
Let
we
me
had
finish. Let me finish.
yeah, yeah.
There's always an element of Big Brother trying to push a particular narrative that's louder than and divisive in that way. That's always the case. And so even like now, there's always men that are there to use racism to skirt
Oh
accountability.
yeah.
Even those, both in and we know that they're gonna use this case as something that's gonna blow up. That's like the default in America when it comes
No,
to the
Diamond was
image
not
of
the
black.
default. Is somebody trying to blow up, making it sound like that's what black people think. That's a big ass difference than white mainstream media having a narrative versus all the research we talk about that Reese Colbert does and all her videos and talking about how this shit happens. They got people in troll farms, bot farms getting paid to repeat shit, make it be slightly off to sound like black people on a lot of shit. And that's all
I
I'm
don't think you
saying.
hear what I'm saying. That is that some form of that is always going on. Some form of somebody is always
I
getting
agree,
paid
but the
to push
scale
the
is
narrative.
drastically different than what it's ever been, and that's important to note. This ain't the 90s. This ain't the early 2000s. This is not TV or print. This is some different shit. And they've been gathering up everybody's information for the last 10 years. We've been correcting them when they say the fucking grammar wrong in the comments and all this kind of shit. And this is real life. That's what's happening. So that's all I'm saying. I don't think that's a controversial statement when we know that's happening. Black Women Views, Reese Colbert talks about it all the fucking time. We can go to, you know what I'm saying? We've talked about it. We brought her stuff up
Well,
about this topic.
I wanna clarify.
Faking
I
to be
never
black voices is all I'm saying. They're on purpose with
I
us, our community.
I
That's all
never
I'm
thought
saying.
your take was controversial. For me, I'm asking for versatility. Sometimes I'm listening to our conversations as a listener, as a Marsha's Plate listener, and for me it's given redundant. I want more versatility from you. I want to hear you tell us something else, or at least tell it in another way. Educate us in another way. It's like if I'm reading a book that Jay wrote, in every chapter we
It's
going to
the
be
same
hearing
thing.
we going to be hearing the algorithm.
I mean, can I not make that as a comment that does not have to be like it's just a comment. It does not have to be followed up by a whole discussion. It's just like, oh yeah, it's that algorithm thing. That's how I'm thinking of it when I say it, not as a whole like, oh, let's go down a deep dive about that. I'm just saying, oh yeah, this is one of those examples where it's yes, this is a real thing that majority of black men feel this way, some fuck shit. And this is also an example of one of the things that Reese even talks about that gets blown up by these trolls farmers, make it seem like these are more black men, more black everybody that are black people talking about a thing more than it already really actually is. We know that that's a thing. And that's all I was saying. Just to name that. That's it. Just oh yeah, keep that shit in mind.
Well,
If it sounds
you talked
super fucking
about
extreme,
you talked
that's a way to
about
help pull other people back in from the fuck shit. That's it.
you talked about your experience as a black girl. I don't want you to discredit my femininity or my
No, no,
passability.
no.
No, I let me finish.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want you to know and realize that I grew up with niggas. I grew up as a nigga. I was ingrained and indoctrinated to be a nigga. I wasn't in the church. I was in the streets with niggas. Niggas raised me. I'm around niggas to this day, hanging barbershops, all that shit. I grew up in the barbershop, honey. I know that there are a lot of black men who think like this, and I want to talk to them instead of just hollering the algorithm and shit. What can you say to these brothers? What can you say to the ones who don't think like you? What can you say to the ones that ain't the niggas that you hang with?
Right, because there is a blind spot there that you
Right.
yourself just called
That
out.
you clearly have.
Because
Every time we talk about a lot of these subjects.
I
and
think I've said, I think what I would say to someone who thinks that black women get a fucking pass or that black men have it worse, that black men should be, if a black man is accused of fucking sexually assaulting someone, that, oh, that's just racism. That's bullshit. This motherfucker's a predator. I told, and the reason I brought up the other thing about my experience, not just as a black girl, but also as a black woman, because I was saying those things. I know what it's like to be saying shit, and motherfuckers being like, we're just gonna talk over you. We don't give a fuck about leadership. We don't give a fuck about any of this shit. I lived that also after transitioning too in LGBT spaces. So I'm just saying, like, the shit is real. I still deal with misogyny and patriarchy and being silenced because I have a fucking vagina, like, today. And that's all I'm saying. So I definitely understand that, and people just being indifferent. And I'm saying the way that I approach that with people that I know or people I interact with when I feel comfortable is to push folks and be like, what the fuck is that about? What are you saying? A person's a predator, they're a fucking predator. Period. Right? Like I said, for over 20 fucking years, I've been saying, I don't give a fuck about this shit with R. Kelly about black men bullshit. That's bullshit. What about this black girl? This child, this human being. So no, fuck that bullshit. Don't try to put that shit on me. Y'all got me fucked up. And so it might sound different because I'm a transmasculine person than it does when someone looks like me who's cis. So it might sound different because it does sound different because it's a different experience. Right. And so how we're like that. No, my history is that. My reality is that. And it's not a comfortable thing to always be in. To say the things that people don't want to fucking hear. No, you're cool with a fucking predator. You're cool with this shit. Fucking taking advantage of fucking kids and human beings. Point blank, period. I've always been that person and will continue to be that person. And so I'm just like, I'm saying that's what I would do. I don't know. I don't have all the best advice for everybody the fuck else, but I'm telling you, that's what the fuck I do. And if that's the question, like, that's what I do. Because everybody get down the way I get down. Okay. And I know plenty of trans guys where I've had to have conversations, particularly trans guys and cis guys, but also with trans guys around misogyny and patriarchy. And I push and I say this, I'm treated the same fucking way. What the fuck are you saying? Okay. Because my whole fucking life, I have to say, I'm a human being. People are people. The woman, the black person, the blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Human condition is human fucking condition. So we break it down to that. And why the fuck you got your shit fucked up where all of a sudden you're not seeing this person as a fucking human being?
Yeah, I totally get that. I think you said it was a misspoke, but it's something that you say consistently, so it doesn't feel like a misspoken.
About the algorithm?
Yeah.
That's not a misspoke. That's not me misspeaking. I need to say that more clearly.
No, not the algorithm. If I'm not mistaken, it's that's not what black men think. And I think you be failing to realize that a lot of black men.
That's how it sounds. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say.
I think sometimes you fail to realize that there are a lot of black men who are not like the black guys that you're around, or even like the black guys that you grew up around. You know what I mean? Because we clearly have an issue with not just black men, but men in general in this society being predator enablers, down to the fucking White House administration and these Epstein files. It's clearly an issue in our society. There clearly are a lot of men who are comfortable enabling pedophiles and predators.
But that's always, that ain't gonna be fucking information.
It's just the reality.
Right. And what I'm saying regarding the algorithm is that I trust Lisa Colbert and her shit and her work and her data is that there are people pretending to be black people pushing these things on the fucking internet. That's all I'm saying, to just keep that in mind. Stay aware of that. Yes, this they don't take, that's it. And then it got to be this topic, because I'm going to say the same shit when it's like the trans blah, blah, blah versus the non-binary blah, blah, blah. I'm going to say the same shit. When it's talking about some shit that's slivering up some shit about women and cis women and trans women, I'm going to say the same shit. That fucking algorithm. Keep that shit in mind. Just keep that shit in mind.
But that's the problem. But that's the problem, because when you say it's undermining the reality that there is a clash between non-binary and trans people, and we don't.
No, it's not
bots. I see it with
real Diamond. We live in a world where both things are true. All I'm saying is we know, based on shit we've talked about and articles we've used and data and shit from YouTube, videos, sources, that there are people, bots and troll farms and all this other bullshit out there Black people are the number one target. And so they're taking shit that is already hot and on some fuck shit. And there are literally bot farms, people pretending, accounts pretending
You're
to be
explaining
Black
something we
people.
already
Not just
know that
and all this other
exists.
shit.
Not just that. We know more about bots than you do, Jay. We are fucking content creators who get paid to do this. No shade. And if we're telling you we got it with the bots, something that you need
It's not for you. I'm talking about for
the,
the audience. That's the only reason why I bring it up on
that's
the
what I'm
reminder.
trying. If you let me finish, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Listen to yourself. Listen to some of the playbacks. Listen to some of the episodes played back. Is you regurgitating a lot of this bot shit, and then when you start with the bots, then it goes into a whole other rant again, where it ends up sounding to the audience like what was the word you use? Like you're negating the topic.
I got you.
You're
I got you.
negating the priority of the topic. You're negating the
I can,
seriousness of the topic,
I can receive that.
and you're negating the fact that there is a large group of people in America who you don't fucking know.
I can receive that, and I guess I'm just asking because what would be a way to just make sure that reminder's out there sometimes, because that's a part of the strategy is to flood the zone with shit. I just think it's important for us to keep in mind as we react to shit, that a part of their strategy is to flood the zone with shit. And so it's just protect ourselves. That's all. That's where it's coming from. Is like, because it's gonna be a lot more shit. And we talked about that coming into the election.
It's gonna consistently be shit. I think something
that was my point earlier, because even it's always that even fucking Bill Cosby, ironically, was saying that about television when it comes to the gangster rap and the hip hop. He was saying they were flooding images with negative images of Black people. There is always a flood from Big Brother doing that. That is all, even before this algorithm.
Right now,
it's always that.
I get that, but right now it's like we about to slide back, moonwalk back into. This is a strategy right now where if we don't pay attention, we're gonna be in a situation for the next 50 years that's like fucking post-Reconstruction. So that's why I'm saying that. It's like it ain't then, it's now. And so I'm saying, and now a part of the strategy to fuck us up as Black people is to have us talking about anything but checking our fucking voter registration card. All I'm doing is a fucking quick reminder. That's it. And I gotta find another way to communicate that, obviously, because I don't want folks feeling like I'm negating their fucking feelings and shit, because that's not my intent. And I do receive that and can see how that was fucked up, right? But like that is the concern. And that is it's just a reminder for myself and all of us, right? It's just like, yo, we're gonna be talking about a lot of shit. Just keep in mind there's a certain percentage of that that's gonna be every extra. That's all. Just keep it in mind.
And I think it's our job as cultural commentators to make sure that even if you see something, because that's why we bringing it up. So if somebody says, or we see a blog talk about, oh, this is to undermine Black men and the power of Black men and our Black excellence, we are going to talk about it, because I hear people because I'm on the internet. I know the difference.
Right. And I'm not saying we shouldn't talk about it. I need to find whatever. I can't communicate. I can't keep saying it that way, because obviously that's landing great. That's landing wrong for folks. But my intent was not to be like dismissive. Just a reminder, like, yo, like, she's about to get hot on this internet. Like, that don't change this.
It ain't about to get hot, honey. It been hot. It been hot, Jay. You just getting here. And I think that's the thing that you failing to realize. A lot of our audience is more tech savvy and internet savvy than you are. And people know how to spot bots. Bots have been a thing. People know how to spot when people have bought their followers and all of that. You know what I mean? I want you to be aware of the fact that we communicate with online probably a lot more than you do.
I know. And for I know you do. I know for our listeners who aren't as tech savvy, can you explain what you just said? Like basically in terms of
for humans, and when I'm bringing up a subject or talking about that, I am talking about humans. I am not talking
right,
about some comment from Nigeria or from some
right,
commenter. I'm talking about actual humans coming out of their mouth saying stuff.
right.
I'm never going to be talking about a
Exclusively.
comment or some person with no picture or profile on their shit saying this, saying that. I'm never talking about them. That
Mm-hmm.
because I'm on the internet all the time, I am adept to knowing when this is a fake profile. I'm on adept
Mm-hmm.
to knowing when this is, that's just what it
Right.
is. So when
No,
I'm
I
talking
wasn't.
about something,
Yeah, I
I am
wasn't questioning y'all
always,
on that.
but I think a lot of people are like that. And so when I'm bringing up a subject about an idea that is coming forth, whether it be loud, the algorithm, blah, 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 this is somebody has said this. So I want to address it.
Mm-hmm.
And just as if same feeling that I have when I wanted to address in the 90s when the black feminists wanted to address when Clarence Thomas was using racism as a shield. And
Right.
this ain't got nothing to do with the algorithm. This is
Right. No,
he
I
was
was a kid.
using,
I was
and
a
there's a
kid. I was a
lot of
little girl
times,
then. Yeah.
right? There are people who use racism as a shield, and we need to talk about it. So when you
Right.
see the bot saying some crazy ass shit, you have the language, you have a
Right.
deep conversation that you have heard about that. And so that is my point. It's not that I think
Right.
that the algorithm doesn't blow stuff. I just don't think
Right.
that it's enough to illegitimize that this is a concern to a lot of black men. And that's what it felt like.
Right.
It felt like that you
I
were using
got you. I
to make
got
it
you.
not
I
fit
didn't. I
you.
didn't realize like all this other shit was being inferred in it. You know what I'm saying? Granted, I was a little sick, y'all. You know, I was a little loopy, but I hear that. I received that. Um.
So all right, yes, you gotta
Yeah.
close it out, Bree.
Woo, child, honey. We went around the world and
Hmm.
honey,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
baby.
Come on, Lisa Stanfield.
Baby,
Been around the world, and I.
from Lisa Stanfield to Lisa, I'm going to take y'all home, baby. What do y'all think about all these allegations with these celebrities, honey? What do y'all think about Black people, Black men specifically, deflecting from the issue and focusing on racism? What do y'all think about Jay hollering, y'all niggas better vote in the algorithm every time we have a conversation? Let us know and make sure you hashtag Marsha's Plate. That's hashtag
Lit.
MARSHASPLATE.
Ryan Davis, he went viral by talking about his daughter. Talking about his daughter. That's the most viral moment of the show. I felt like the interview was boring, but the most viral moment is his daughter. He's saying his daughter seeing him just as like a bank account, as an ATM, as financially only wanted to talk to him when she wants something and da 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 da. Da. A 10-year-old. He's talking about a 10-year-old. He's not talking about an 18-year-old or 20-year. He's talking about a 10-year-old. And so it has gone viral and I want to see y'all thoughts about it. I feel like he sat up there and said that he knew there's another element of it that pisses me off, and I'm gonna read what the mama says because
Wait.
his baby mama has some conversation as well. And so, but one of the things that I want to give more context to the conversation is his baby mama said that she didn't want children and she gave him kids because that's what he wanted. And then when he got successful, he left her to take care of those kids that she didn't even want alone. And he thought that sending money back was enough. So he wasn't even taking care of this girl. He was literally thinking that sending her money while not being in the child's life was enough. So what else, what the fuck you think kind of relationship you gonna have with a child if all you doing is sending money back and not actually trying to be a fucking father and raise children that your ass fucking wanted? So in the interview, he refused to acknowledge that he literally abandoned his daughter along with her mother
Wow.
Just because he got successful. And then now all of a sudden he feels, oh, the relationship is weird. And he feels heartbroken because the relationship is so transactional. Bitch, you made it fucking transactional. What the fuck is you talking about? Instead of taking accountability for abandoning your child and using money as the fucking thing that say, oh, I'm at least I'm sending. I ain't no deadbeat. I'm paying for stuff that needs to be done. Blah 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 blah. Instead of blaming that relationship on a 10-year-old, maybe you need to hold accountability how you laid the foundation for a transactional relationship with your motherfucking daughter. So what are y'all thoughts about this situation? It kind of pissed me off because I just feel like, yo, like you set this foundation and you make it seem like you the fucking victim. And these niggas is in the comments. These niggas, real niggas, are in the comments talking about, this she's gonna grow up and be a gold digger, and y'all just want men to be this and want men to be that. Blah, 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 blah.
Well,
So, what y'all thought?
if she grows up to be a motherfucking gold digger, it's going to be because of her motherfucking daddy.
Harder to be that.
It's going to be because of the example that he set for her. He should have been aware, and he should be aware that when you have a child and you are a father, especially when a daughter, you're going to be the representative of the first man who loves her. So if you have only given her things financially, material things, objects, honey, then she is going to naturally, you're absolutely right. I don't know who taught you niggas that psychology. She is going to absolutely associate material things with love. She is absolutely very likely to do that. Absolutely.
Even fucking kids with their parents at home, that age, you are their fucking ATM. They ain't got no fucking job. So when they want shit, they gonna want you to go buy it. Motherfucker.
No shade, and you made it very aware, honey, that you don't know shit about motherfucking parenting because I'm sure the child acts like the mother's the ATM as well, and she's in the motherfucking house, honey.
Period.
But the difference between the mother and you is that she only knows you to be the motherfucking ATM, honey. Like what the fuck are you talking about? Like this shit gets the back has like niggas got to talk to the back of my head with this shit, and it reminds me of my own motherfucking father, honey. Like you think that you because you send a child support check that you the motherfucking did something. That ain't sending a motherfucking child support check specifically ain't doing the goddamn thing because that's forced by the government. You didn't even have a choice in that motherfucking matter,
Right.
honey.
What did he
And
say?
it gives me the impression, even as a child, it gave me the impression that if I'm getting a child support check, then that means that my dad don't give a fuck enough about me to be responsible with the money the government got to control the motherfucking coins that he give to me. That's what the fuck it told me. And I knew my mother to be the type that didn't even want to put a nigga on child support. She don't even like sitting down social motherfucking services. But yet, now to this day, you wondering why we don't have a motherfucking relationship. Well, nigga, that's because we never had a relationship growing up. You got to start from scratch, nigga. Honey, I'm how many the fuck years old, and I know you for how the fuck long?
Mm-hmm.
I done seen you enough times that I can fucking remember. A child shouldn't remember. A person should not remember, be able to remember the amount of times they seen their motherfucking parent. It should be so fucking frequent that they lost count by age 10. Motherfucker.
Period.
What you gotta say, Jay?
That's just trifling. That's trifling, and I feel for the daughter. I feel for the mom, because you were saying like he wanted to have kids, and so this woman put her body through trauma for like well over a year and some change. And her body will never be the fucking same. She might not even be able to pee the same. All this other shit. So, quote, he can have a baby. Is that correct?
That's what she said.
Damn. And so
And then he said, fuck that baby. I'm just gonna send you money.
Once he
Child
got
support money,
successful,
or I'm just sending you money.
once he's one no 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 once he got successful, he started focusing on his career and being gone and send her money back. He basically was complaining about his relationship with his daughter. So let me give you a little bit more context too from the
The
mom. So
10-year old, right?
the 10-year-old. She's 11 now, but 10.
Well, I mean, yeah, you ain't where you been, homie. Like, you're gonna have to restart that and rebuild trust and all that. You know, you got to kind of start from scratch, basically, because she doesn't know who he is. They don't have any kind of trust established or intimacy established.
So this is what the mama said under the comments on the video on the interview. The mama says, as a mother, and I think that this is real too, because you now that you're a celebrity, kinda, you getting interviewed
Trifling.
by Shannon Sharp, you're
Yeah.
interview. That I feel like you need to be media trained to where you certain questions, certain topics you need to know not to bring up. And I think your children is one of them. And so this is what the mother said. She
Mm-hmm.
said, as a mother, my daughter wasn't protected in this situation at all. Explaining to an 11-year-old who stumbled across her face on social media as to why her face is all over the stranger's page and why her father said what he said was in fact doesn't even she says was in fact she doesn't even ask for anything from him and has been the final straw for me as a mother. This narrative that we were together then broke up and the relationship changed, by the way, the two of them is all false. She was 3 when he moved away, and we never lived together. This entire thing has been very hurtful and traumatic for my daughter. Never saying anything. I never say anything, but when it comes to my kids, I'm gonna always be vocal, and that's why I'm saying something now. So, in to
Yeah.
me, I ain't got no wound to get no motherfucker. So I don't. I'm
This is
not.
very irresponsible and trifling.
Stop giving these motherfucking niggas kids. That's first of all. And if you just, I know they be lying and making you believe that they might be selling you a dream or whatever. But if you do give them some kids, give them kids to them niggas. Give them to them. Let you be the bitch that gotta give the fucking child support. Make them be the one that gotta be home. Give them the fucking kids. Don't be locked down. Give them to them. Force them niggas to take care of them.
I mean,
Honey.
it's just so crazy because, like we are talking about earlier, just like internalized misogyny, internalized patriarchy, internalized sexism. The idea that I'm gonna give somebody some kids, this whole internalized objectification that's just pushed on women, right? Particularly cis women, to think that, that's a part that's just regular. No, that's not fucking regular. To quote, give somebody some fucking kids. No, no, right? And it's like, no, you take care of you. And if you decide to have a child with somebody else, that's a choice that you make because you got to go through all of that. And society is going to expect you to keep it all together, to have all the shit, to give a fuck, to da 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 da, to not, you know what I'm saying? You can't, you're not allowed to fuck up, apparently. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot. It's, that a quick moment can really that getting so sucked up because that's about self-worth, right, and value around yourself, right, in terms of prioritizing yourself versus what someone else wants for your body versus what you want for your body, and making a not an emotional but like an actual also a logical choice to do so consensually, not just because I'm wrapped up in emotion because I feel like I need someone to be there. I need to feel some intimacy. I didn't have, like you mentioned, Bree, that relationship with my father maybe as a child. So I'm chasing after that type of intimacy from a man, from a male, from masculinity, right? And then end up in these situations, um,
But even,
so
and I think that's some real shit that you're talking. But even to outside of him,
oh
nigga,
yeah,
you following your dream.
that's some fuck shit.
This world is set up for you niggas to do that. There's a reason why
Yep.
she's over here, and you niggas can just I've seen it so many times. Me and my brother talked about it recently about how, his father kind of I don't know if do I want to talk about this. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
How his father was able to kind of just go live in this state, go live in this, and my mama was chasing him and like bringing her kids that
Yeah.
wasn't even his all the way to Boston to chase him.
Yeah.
But him as a father, his brain didn't say maybe I need to anchor down so my children can be stable. It was always the mother, in my family, it was always the mother who was thinking about I need a stable home for my kids, while the dudes was just kind of running, oh, I gotta go get this
Mm-hmm.
job and I got a job. You ain't even thinking about, like, even if they're separated, you ain't even get an apartment with a room for your child. My mama always had bedrooms enough for us. But the daddies never, they
Right.
always was in
Got an
studios, one
arrangement. Yeah.
bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
They never had a bedroom for their child, even if they were taking care of the child, like as far as like giving money or da da da. When they were thinking about moving into an apartment by themselves, they didn't think, oh, I need a bedroom for my baby. The mother always think like that. The dad don't ever think like that.
Honey,
So
daddies be having bachelor pads, honey, like bed
yeah,
bugs, bed bites, honey.
it's crazy
Yeah.
to me. And so, nigga, you should know better. Like you
Particularly
get
if you
on
have the money. Right.
and he be on the internet judging all kinds of people. Like he's a comedian, but he's always
Mm-hmm.
giving cultural commentary about situations.
Mm-hmm.
You put yourself in a position where your ass should
Got
know
you.
better. So your
Got
ass,
you.
you know that this wasn't right. And the fact that you get on Shannon Sharp's show, just like she said, and demonize, and that's what the fuck you did. Even if that's not what you meant,
Right.
you
You fucked your
literally
child
made
up,
it
yo.
seem like your child, a 10
Right.
year old, was using you for money. And you know how the internet is going to fucking take that.
Right. And now your kid is forever linked to this story online at such a young age, and having to process all of that. I mean, it'd be one thing even if he didn't even bring up the child and talk shit about her mother. That was going to be traumatizing enough to see your father talking shit about your mother on the fucking internet. And then you add on that you named your child and now your child's picture is floating around. I think mom got to take his ass to court.
Now,
Seriously,
wait.
because that's crazy.
Let me get a little, not that it changes anything, but the
That's
context of
crazy.
what he was talking about how heartbroken he was about it being just a financial. So he was talking about it from himself being heartbroken by it, but he wasn't holding himself, to me, he wasn't holding himself enough accountable to him creating that. It wasn't just your daughter
Right.
thinking, oh, I want my using my dad for money. And that's how he said it. He said it
Mm.
like that. So that's how I took it. It
I mean,
wasn't your daughter, it was you.
I'm hoping that the roasting and all this other shit that he's getting is an opportunity for him to get some kind of therapy or something around this shit because he gonna get roasted. Like if he actually genuinely wants a
No, he
fucking
done responded
relationship,
and he ain't
he
learning.
gonna have to get some help because that ain't it right there. That
He
ain't
done
it. That's a fucking
responded. He
rap.
says we dumb. This is what he's saying in his video in response to the internet talking about it.
Mm.
He said we is dumb, and that's not
He
how he
having a
meant
temper
it.
tantrum.
Yeah.
He having a temper tantrum. He
Yeah.
having a temper tantrum. I mean, full circle back to what we were talking about earlier too, right? Like that socialization and this idea that boys can do what the fuck they want to do. Like if you a girl that was raised with a boy, your brother probably could do what the fuck he wanted to do, and you were held to a different standard and weren't able to do what the fuck you wanted to do. If you fucked up in the same way, you did not get the same consequences. You got worse consequences. You know what I'm saying? And so if you as boys get older and mature into young men, some of that shit starts so early. You got to nip it in the fucking bud too, and like hold folks accountable, because that's monstrous, right? At a certain point where ain't nobody told you no, but somebody's always going to clean it up, right?
Well, my old best friend,
In
her
this
her
situation,
parents
you just
her
Jesus.
my old best friend, her parents was way more strict on her than they were with her brothers, and she was the oldest. Like they was younger than her and had more freedom than she did. But to be fair, they were like that with her because she was a thought. She was a whore. honey.
Period.
Serve that pussy on a platter to everybody in the
I'm
neighborhood.
sure the
And
boys could do this. It could be thoughts out there too, and they would not be in their ass about it.
no, she was fucking more than any nigga in our high school.
Good
Maybe.
for her. As long as she was of age and consensual.
No, she
Um,
wasn't of age, and some of
oh
these men
well.
were adults. That how was she of age if her
Oh
parents
right,
were
you said
still
she was a bitch. She was a
with
child.
it?
Y'all kids. My bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honey.
No, that's fucked up.
She was fucking adults, getting pregnant by adult men and everything.
Oh wow. So it sounds like they need an intervention.
Yeah, intervention was definitely
Yeah.
needed.
Damn. Um. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. I think that's crazy that this dude went on there. That's my thought. That's crazy. That's harmful to his kid. Like,
And he
that is
don't
not
even give a
helpful.
fuck. He don't even give a
Yeah.
fuck. His
Yeah. I
child
hope
gonna
he
be
can get some
numb.
fucking help so he can better show up for his daughter. Honestly, like that's what I'm. That's all I. At the end of the day.
Child,
Oh
fuck
yeah.
him. I think he a lost cause. I'm praying for the daughter. She gonna be going through the rest of her life being known as baby gold digger.
Yeah, he's always been a podcast bro. He always been that kind of red pill ass nigga that just so happened to be black. Not super, super far over there, but very dumb, Shannon Sharp ass niggas. These you got these two dumb ass niggas interviewing each other, or one interviewing this other one dumb nigga interviewing another dumb nigga. Anyway, tell me what y'all think about Ryan Davis and him like he trolling his daughter. Him talking
That's
shit about
crazy.
his daughter and their relationship and not holding himself accountable for the how the relationship has gone on and she's only 10. Anyway, let us know. Hashtag Marsha's played.
Hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
Period.
Gimme euphoria, more than peace of mind. It's the joy and space to change the tide. Gimme euphoria, more than peace of mind. It's the joy and space to change the tide. Gimme you a feeling and a high you never come down from. Whoa.
So, what is bringing y'all euphoria this week?
I'll go. So I've been dealing with some health challenges and been at my sister's, one of my big sister's houses. And when I first got here, she been taking care of me, had soup ready for me. I was able to lay on her king size bed. Um, but today in particular, was it today? Yeah, yesterday. We she made some chicken. That chicken was so fucking good, y'all. Some chicken. We had some chicken, some rice and beans, you know what I'm saying? Some leafy green situation. And we played jacks. Y'all remember jacks and marbles? For jacks. And
Mhm.
so when I was real little, we about 13 years apart. So when I was little, I couldn't play, I would just see my older siblings playing jacks. So it was really cute because we had a little mama house. She was like, "You want to play jacks?" And I was like, "Oh, I get to play with the big kid." It just brought out that child in me. So it was really cool to share that moment with her and like play this game that I always saw her and my older sister, my older brothers playing, right? Because I was too little to understand. I know. Y'all ever play jacks?
When I was little.
Yeah. So it was cool to have that moment with her. And that chicken was fire, y'all. I mean, it was perfection. So I'm grateful to my euphoria is just, spending some time with family. I was isolated for a minute and dealing with some serious health challenges. So I'm very grateful for that. And that's bringing me euphoria, good chicken, good food, good moment with my sister. So what about you, Bree? What's bringing you euphoria?
Oh, what's bringing the pussy euphoria right now? Um, a couple of things are bringing me euphoria. I one of my guilty pleasures has been bringing me euphoria, honey. I don't pay for Zeus, honey, but I do indulge. I do indulge in Zeus, and it's been bringing me euphoria watching the children online who went to the Bad Boy auditions. honey. They've been doing before and afters. Like before they went to the audition, how they were looking, they would have their little looks on. A lot of little butch queens now, they real femme and androgynous, and everybody is wearing wigs and extended braids and locks and all of these things. And they be cute in their little effects. Everybody got BBLs. All of them got BBLs and stuff. Now they be looking cute and cunty, honey. And then the after they be beat the fuck up, honey. They be looking like Dalmatians. They be having so many spots and bruises and bumps on their face and shit. Do you hear me? They be knotted up like Nestle Crunch bars in the after videos, honey. And it's so ridiculous. It's one of those things that I laugh. I have to laugh instead of cry. You know what I mean? But these children, this Gen X, with their stripper culture, you either a stripper or you on Zeus or you on OnlyFans. You know what I mean? I remember for my generation, it was a thing where, we had did those things as a means to an end to get somewhere. We had bigger goals. The goal wasn't the pole wasn't the ultimate goal. You know what I mean? Honey, but I pray for these children, and in the process, I'm gonna watch them get beat the fuck up and beat the fuck up on each other because they dumb as hell. But it's been bringing me euphoria that some of them are getting out of the ghetto. What about you, Diamond? What's bringing you euphoria this week?
Oh, three things. Egg coffee. Do y'all know what egg coffee is? Egg coffee is fire. So it's some y'all know I've been over dealing in the Asian land, and it is something that the Vietnamese people make, and it's fucking fire. It's basically like this thick, creamy, sweet, like foam that they make out of eggs, like the yolk. Like you know how a meringue is made out of egg whites. It's something that they do, but with the yolk part, and they blend it, and it's like super creamy, and then they put it on top of the coffee, and it's like a thick, delicious foam on the coffee. So it's fire. So egg coffee, love it. And so because the first time I drunk it was in over there, I looked up, and I know in Houston, Texas, the Vietnamese, they got the biggest population of Vietnamese people in America. So I was like, I know that y'all got a restaurant or something that sell
Where
egg
you can
coffee.
find something.
I can find it. So I Googled and found this place, and they sell theirs is delicious. And I went there this morning for breakfast, and it was so good. So egg coffee, and I was telling y'all about this earlier. My fucking new tea kettle. This is from. It's Bodum, Bodum. I love this motherfucker. This motherfucker is just so perfect. I have one of the old school ones, but it takes forever for it to heat up. It got a heavy bottom. It's one of the old school ones. So you put it on the stove, But this is like some kind of electric thing that goes right here, and you sit it on top, and you push this little thing down right here, this little plastic thing down, and it is hot within like a couple of minutes. It's just super, super fire. So that brought me euphoria. And last but not least, my motherfucking bed. My bed in my house is bringing me euphoria because them beds over there was hard and rocky. They were hard and not feeling good, even in the like luxury hotels. It was not feeling good. And so being in my own bed that I have curated to be exactly a perfect fit for myself is bringing me euphoria. And that's it.
You said that BED.
Oh,
you got me thinking about that egg coffee, and I don't even drink coffee.
Oh, yeah, it's so like I don't even fuck with coffee like that. But if I'm gonna drink coffee, it's gonna be like that for the rest of my life. Anyway, let us know what is bringing y'all euphoria this week. We are so glad to be back. Happy New Year. Yes. This is our first episode in the new year. And yeah, happy 2026. And yeah, let us know what's bringing y'all euphoria this week. And we will see y'all next week.
Yes, we will, honey. Yes.
Hey, we love y'all. Thank you for being like, are you on a glitch? I kind of was on a glitch. You said so, you're saying the same thing.
I was like, All right, we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye. I love y'all.
Well, that's it. Thank you for coming and getting a taste of Marsha's Plate. You can listen to us on iTunes and SoundCloud. Make sure you leave a review because we really need those 5 stars, y'all.
And go like our Facebook page and leave some comments. We'll be posting exclusive content every Thursday, so you definitely don't want to miss out.
You can also follow us on Twitter and any other social media site at Marsha's Plate. If you'd like to donate or advertise with us, hit us up at diamondstylz@gmail.com. That's diamondstylz@gmail.com.
And that's it for us, y'all. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You gonna say bye, Mia?
Oh, bye, y'all.
Every little thing's gonna be alright. Don't you worry about a thing. Baby, it's gonna be